This was carefully surveyed out. They began drilling in two directions at once, with a great deal of confidence that they were going to meet in the middle.
The plan worked, and within weeks, the downstream crew punched through from the far side.
After they were finished pulling all of the rock, all the spoil that they were pulling out of the cavity, the equipment pieces, the turbines, the generators and everything, all of that had to go down the elevator shaft.
The largest piece weighed 26,000 pounds.
This is heavy stuff, even with modern machinery. But in that day and age, without modern machinery, incredible feat.
Along with the generators, water wheels, and control equipment, Baker's men lowered in sections of the penstock, a steel pipe 7.5 feet in diameter that would carry part of the Snoqualmie River deep into the cavity. Riveters hammered together each 8-foot section, caulked the joints, and attached the penstock to steel receivers which fed the water wheels. An elevator, powered by its own penstock and water wheel, allowed men and equipment to move up and down the shaft.
All the foundry work, they had to create the molds. There wasn't any to really go by. They had to create just about everything.
Because of the isolation of this particular facility, there was a need for the staff that worked here to be ingenious in creating the pieces that they needed.
You actually had people who could do anything. Electrical, welding, mechanical, didn't matter.
The guy that's pulling a rock out with his bare hands to the foreman that's putting the crew together day in, day out. There was no letting down. They all wanted to see these units run. They bought into it in a big way.
To see the progress for himself, Charles's father, William, traveled from Chicago to the site on 3 occasions. Impressed with the plans and the speed of construction, William felt secure in his investment, which today would amount to $15 million.
Father's absolute and unwavering faith in my integrity, judgment, and skill in these matters were the principal security for his money advanced in connection with our work. His belief in me was never shaken. Charles Baker.
While work continued at the plant site, detractors mounted a public relations attack slandering the engineers' efforts, claiming that Snoqualmie Falls ran dry in the summer and froze solid in the winter. So-called experts pointed out that water power had never successfully driven an electric lighting system, and called the whole venture Baker's folly. While Baker dodged and confronted these political affronts, he also battled the forces of nature and the challenges of working with a technology still in its infancy.
One of the trials and tribulations he went through when everything froze up and there are these big long icicles hanging down and everything is totally draped in ice. So my grandfather had a lot of things to overcome.
When Baker purchased 2 water wheels, they were so new that the manufacturers refused to warranty them, with good reason. After having these enormous units shipped to the Northwest, loaded down the elevator shaft and installed, when run at full speed, the wheels vibrated so violently that they threatened to destroy the steel penstock.
But that was so inefficient. I think they only got something like 20% of what they expected to get out of the generators. It made so much noise, I understand that you could hear it clear down in Falls City.
The stress Baker shouldered was almost too much to bear. His health deteriorated, and in the midst of building the plant, he required an emergency surgery to remove his appendix, a procedure that had only been performed for little more than a decade. While Baker recovered, construction continued. 2 new water wheels were ordered from the Abner Doble Company to replace the faulty units. While those were installed below, above the cavity, the transformer house began to take shape. The building contained electric transformers that would step up the voltage before sending the power across the transmission lines.
The harnessing of a river for the manufacture of electrical energy is a mammoth undertaking. Halted in its mad rush to the sea, the water is diverged into the turbines of the powerhouse. The generated power is sent out over miles of transmission lines, while the pent-up water, released again, runs merrily on its way to the valleys below, there to perform other duties for mankind.
Baker's plans did not end with a power station buried in a mountain. While crews assembled the generating plant, Baker himself set out to find a path to send the electricity from Snoqualmie to Seattle and Tacoma.
The transmission lines had to be built to Seattle and to Tacoma through forests that had 250-foot high trees, so they really had to do some serious logging.
Logging crews cleared a path some 300 feet wide that traversed forests and hills from Snoqualmie to Issaquah to Renton and then to Seattle. While the material to build the two sets of electrical poles was readily available, the aluminum transmission lines, insulators, and all other supplies were brought in by horses.
Probably no mountain lines have cost more for right-of-way than those from this plant. For not only do they surmount extremely difficult mountains, but they lead through continuous forests of dense spruce and fir, the trees of which are of great size. The New York Times.
They had to construct not only the transmission wires, but also the substations along the way. Substation in Issaquah, substation in Renton, to be able to get the electricity into the customers. Now that's over tens of miles. And if you look at pictures, there's a road following the transmission line all the way down, and people would go on horseback up and down that to check on the integrity of the wires.
By midsummer of 1899, crews that had been working around the clock in 3 different shifts completed the final adjustments and the last system checks. The only question looming in the minds of everyone was, would it work?